Hey, it's Mickey from Relentless Perfection, and I just want to shoot a quick video of this newer BMW M4 behind me that's in for our paint correction, paint protection film, and ceramic coating to protect the paint. This vehicle is just shy of a year old. It's got approximately 20,000 miles. You can see it's really shiny. The owner takes great care of it. And many people that I speak with often consider skipping paint protection film for their car because it's a little bit of a more costly investment rather than just ceramic coating. And while I completely understand it definitely costs a little bit more, there's huge advantages to having it, much of which I've described via email or may have put out there in video or might be on the web that you might be aware of. But of course, the main thing is rock chips. And here's a great example of what happens when you skip out on paint protection film, or in this case, the customer waited a few months or quite a few thousand miles. I'm going to flip the camera around. So over here, check out this car, very cool. Got some cool Audi in the back. This car looks great at first glance. You can see we actually got the film that's just drying up on the hood here and the fender's completed, getting ready to tuck those edges. And if you look closely at this bumper, we're prepping it to put the film on. All these little marks here, you can see under the light, this is all rock chips. This is all from road debris that has shot up and hit and chipped. You can see my reflection hit and chip the front end of this car. So this bumper would basically look like perfect paint. It would look a lot more like the top of the hood, which isn't quite as affected by rock chips naturally as the flat front end. So take a beautiful car like this, and your car, whether it was 20,000 or 85,000 or 400,000, they all suffer the same abuse from rock chips and everything out there on the road. And especially in today's day and age with lifted vehicles, Jeeps with off-road oversized tires on the road, your car is going to get pummeled with rocks and the paint is going to get chipped up incredibly easy. And now, in this case, we're going to protect it from further damage. However, under that film, all these rock chips already exist. So just think about that when you're looking at your car and you want the paint to be, as perfect as possible and for the car to last and look as good, years down the road as it does on day one. This is just a year into ownership. Imagine if you own your car for maybe 4 to 5 years on average. The front end is going to look completely wrecked without any protection on it. So, figure a couple $100 more for our service, whether it be 600 or $1,000 for this front end, you're going to have a basically perfectly intact front bumper. It's not going to be chipped up. And the nice thing is, God forbid anything happens to it, whether it be a big chip or a scrape, that film's going to actually protect that paint underneath. And quickly in transition, actually on the fly, now I'm thinking about this Audi over here has a full paint protection film wrap on the entire vehicle. We did this complete wrap about 3 months ago. Every part of the vehicle is covered with paint protection film as well as ceramic coating. And the customer's in here because the front bumper actually swiped a little concrete pylon parking barrier thing in a parking lot. And they're pulling in, they scraped, and you can see the damage is pretty intense there. But if I move this film, the film took all the brunt of it. The paint underneath is totally intact. Now here's a great example. This vehicle has a pretty extensive front bumper design on it, and I can imagine it would probably be upwards of a few $1,000s to have this reconditioned properly by Audi and to be fixed. And in the same event, your paint may never quite be the same when it's repainted. It devalues the car. Where in this case, we're fortunate, we used a special fitting kit on this that has a few pieces. So when things like this happen, rather than replacing all the film on the bumper, we just have to replace this one big section here. So, for a couple bucks, basically, $100, $200, something like that, we're going to rip this film off. The paint's totally intact, no damage to the vehicle, and we're going to replace it. And he goes on his way. Where, again, if you don't have film on your vehicle, just think that damage would be completely to the bumper and the paint, and you'd have to have it reconditioned and deal with that for the rest of your ownership. So just a little food for thought when you're thinking about getting a ceramic coating versus paint protection film or a combination. Highly suggest considering it for the front end of the vehicle, at least the high impact areas. It's a great investment. Just wanted to share that with you today. Hopefully that provides you a little bit better insight as to what your options are and how to protect your vehicle. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and have a great day.